Hi Gemini, welcome. For those of you who are new to this channel, welcome to I'm Destiny Calling Tarot. Gemini, this is your read, which is going to cover the time frame of June 1st through June 15th, 2020. Can't believe we're going into the 6th month of the year. We're almost at that halfway mark, guys. I'm hoping that this is going to be a sign of good things to come for the second half of the year. Let's make it our reality. All right, so before we get started, just a quick announcement about free personal read contest. I have included the winner, the name of the winner, on the community section of my webpage. So take a look there. I will do that from now on with the winners, and I'm also going to continue with the free reading practice as frequently as I can. Just it's my way of giving back to you guys. So I'd really like to keep that up. All right, so I'm going to get settled here into the energies, and I'm just going to select one message here, and then we'll get into your oracle cards. So this is going to be a general read for the Gemini collective, where it is so general. If you're noticing specific messages not resonating, don't try to force those messages. It simply means they weren't meant for you, and that's okay. The dates here really are general guidelines as well. The guidelines are basically because we're all in different parts of our journey. You might notice things happening a few days, weeks before and after these dates. That's perfectly normal. We're going to start out with just one message. Boldness. We have boldness. It says, don't take this lying down. Get up and fight, but fairly. This fight will be remembered because of the respect and dignity you bring to the battle. Wow. Boldness. I love it. So what I'm going to do is get into the energy oracle cards. Start with this. This is going to give us the overall energy for the entire reading here today. Spirit, please provide an overall message here for the Gemini collective. And this is going to be to cover the time frame of June 1st through June 15th, 2020. First card up, Faith. I've been getting this one quite a bit lately for a few of the signs. It is a time where I think a lot of people generally are moving towards some form of faith in their life to help them through troubled times. All right, I'm going to get one more just so we can have a big picture. What additional message can you send forward, Spirit, for Gemini? This is for the Gemini collective, please. One additional message, one additional important message for the Gemini collective. What did you want them to know during this time? One additional message, please, Spirit. It's going to be a good one. All right, we have laugh. And on the back, it says, I'm going to bleep out the language. It says, where the bleep is your sense of humor. So this is likely how you're finding you're working your way through stressful times. You're allowing yourself the ability to have some comic relief in your life. All right, guys, let's get the tarot. Spirit, what clarifying details can you send forward to the Gemini collective regarding this overall energy? Regarding this overall energy of faith, a little bit of laughter, and some boldness put in there for good measure. What clarifying details, Spirit, can you send forward for the Gemini collective? Important information, important messages, things that you can clarify here. Please send those forward now. One more message, if we could, please, Spirit. All right, so taking a quick look, right off, guys, I do have a 3-3 combination here, so 33, or the number 3, spiritual meaning, may have some type of significant meaning. To some of you, this may be some way that Spirit communicates with you through number synchronicities. And if you research the meaning of 33, the spiritual meaning, there might be messages which can be which you can decode, as far as messages that want to come forward specifically for you from Spirit. So if you're called to do that, or if you're resonating strongly with that 33 number, that means that I'm talking directly to you. All right. 5 of Swords is the first tarot. Okay, so this is starting out automatically with some tension, some conflict. There is, wow, this is unbelievable. There's definitely a choice that's been made, likely on your part, Gemini, that you maybe have felt afterwards that it was somewhat of an unwise choice. I feel a really strong vibe here that it's going to be so important that you continue forward. If this needs resolution on your part, that you go forward with integrity. Make sure you have integrity during this time. Don't blame others. Take responsibility at this point. Make sure you think very carefully about your motives, about others' motives, and make sure you learn everything about your specific situation so that you don't get caught up in a situation that is going to just generate more conflict. This is really interesting here. Some of you may find that there are people around you who have hidden agendas, or just you feel as though they have manipulative tendencies towards you. And that's why I feel the boldness message did come out. And your first tarot is definitely indicating conflict. And again, it says, don't take this lying down, get up and fight, but fairly. So again, this is to follow through with integrity, and it says, make sure that you're fighting fairly. This will be remembered because of the respect and dignity that you bring to the battle. So standing up for yourself assertively, but also very respectfully. So definitely coming into that time frame with some tension and conflict. All right. Next card we have is Ace of Swords. So another swords. This is going to really represent your faith here. This is going to be letting go of your old beliefs that have not served you, that have taken you places, and that just have brought you to challenges that really were situations that you could have allowed yourself to not get involved in. So when I see this card specifically in your read, it's really indicating just letting go of any false assumptions, assuming things at this point are probably not great. Make sure that you are following or honoring your personal truths. If there's any form of belief system that's following you around and dragging you through the mud at this point, you're going to really want to consider unlearning and letting go. If that belief system is no longer serving you, this can definitely be the beginning of a challenging time. This can represent law of karma and a lot of transformational work here is likely to take place. Very, very, very powerful forces here of transformation. Sensing that this will come out to be either quite emotional or quite spiritual for you in the form of transformation. This is where you might experience some form of a paradigm shift. And it does also indicate synchronicity. So it could be some form of meaningful coincidence. So the 33 that popped up immediately in the read, that can be considered some form of meaningful coincidence for some of you, or synchronicity of some kind. But really overall, especially with the karma, the law of karma, which is indicated here in these energies for this card in this reading, it's going to be all about understanding that there are forces which are really operating right now in your life that are beyond human control. Also understanding that when it comes full circle, it really truly is for your highest good, even though during this current point in time it may not feel that way. So when this comes into the read here, what this is telling me is this is where, and I feel that I'm talking faster because I feel the energy speed up. Things are going to speed up with Yeah, things are definitely speeding up. So you can expect really quick results and possible information coming to you that's going to make quite an impact for you going forward. All right. We have King of Wands as your next card. Make sure everyone can see that. So the King of Wands, this is a spiritual influencing energy in the read. This is very it's a focus card, so it's where you're deliberately placing your attention. Whatever you're focusing on right now is going to grow. The energy is very, very strong. So it also comes along with an air of being some form of a leadership and motivating others, or others just all around generally being inspired by you. And I wouldn't be surprised because you're likely being recognized or watched in some way where it says, this fight will be remembered because of the respect and dignity you bring to the battle. So you're obviously portraying yourself in such a way, in such a manner, that you are being, you're either inspiring others or you have others looking up to you in some way, shape, or form here. So this is it's gonna open your mind. This is allowing you to maybe see different, where you're coming into some form of a different paradigm. I feel like you're going to be more open-minded during this phase. So be very cautious. Make sure you're making a special effort during this time to be very cautious as to where you're putting your attention, because your focus during this point in time is very, it's very powerful. And the next card is immediately following is the Hierophant card, right? So it's Major Arcana. So this is really following through, I feel, with the previous card. It's following through for you, really about spiritual things, about spiritual practices here. It's about doing the right thing. Interestingly enough, the Hierophant is all about ruling of our conscious, subconscious, and this is interesting, the superconscious. So this is really when you can get to a point where you're going into a paradigm shift, where if you're really motivated and inspired and called to, you can become some form of a master. Yeah, it's really just going to be all about a time for you to learn how to listen, learn how to listen to the messages that are trying to come forward. If you've contacted your guardian angels, your spirit guides directly, if you've prayed, if you've asked for assistance, if you've asked for answers, this is another really big indication here of being open to the possibility of where and when and how those messages are going to come to you. Some of you may be very much able to sit in stillness and meditation and just listen and hear. learning to listen. And between those quiet moments of thought, where there's no thought, and just listen, and this could possibly bring you some insight. For others, it can be about dream interpretations. A few of the signs right now are really going through some pretty intense dreams. And you may not remember the dreams, and that's okay. But a really big message overall for most of the Gemini collective here when this comes up, it's really about being respected here and admired for your ethics and morality. So definitely you doing the right thing here. Next card we have is Eight of Wands. So we have transformation yet again. We have some form of gathering momentum. It's building here. It's definite quickening here of actions. You are going to be going through taking some form of actions which are really going to transform things for you, either on an emotional or spiritual level, or it could be both. But it really is about giving purpose to something here. It's a renewed sense of purpose here. Yeah, but at this point, many things could start to happen at once. Many messages could be coming to you at once. Any delays that you've experienced would be over here at this point, but things really picking up, starting to happen at a faster pace here. This also comes with cautionary messages. If you feel that it's a point for you to be lazy, and I guess that's the best way to put it. If you feel it's just a point for you to be lazy, there are going to be repercussions during these types of energies, because you're being very much called to take advantage of this burst of energy, right? So it's almost as if being lazy during this type of energy here, it's likely to yield some form of unwelcomed results, is the best way to put it. So where the momentum's building here, lots of potential for power, for transformation here. Just allow the energies really to energize you. And you're very lucky to have this energy burst here, because during this point in time, a lot of the collective is having a really difficult time as far as either the motivation factor or the physical get up and go and having the energy, right? So definitely make sure you're taking full advantage of that. Three of Cups, next card. This is about sharing here. This is about you maybe trying to smooth things over in some way. Again, this is about an abundance of energy here. So I would even say, based on this second indication of an abundance of energies that are ramping up here, you likely are coming into a new phase in your life. So this is very much building up to something big for you, Gemini. And if you can't feel it in the energies at this point, it's coming. And it's big. It's a brand new life cycle. So you're moving out of, if you are maybe younger and you're moving out of your parents' home and out on your own for the first time, if you are picking up and moving to a different city completely. So these are the types of things, if you're in your end phases where you're ending your career and you're able to and making a conscious decision to move towards retirement. That is another end stage, right, of a phase of your life. So I do feel strongly that this is going to be impacting you quite a bit over the next few months. This is the momentum really that's ramping up and building for that. But there's also a lot of sharing here. So it's either sharing what you have on a materialistic level, or it's also you sharing your experiences and your knowledge with others. That's beautiful. Three of Swords. This is a little bit of it's almost like I'm hearing that you need to avoid cutting corners. So if you're involved in something and you feel that you're going to get it done just for the sake of saying you got it done, don't even bother. It's a very, very clear message. Don't cut corners. If you're going into some form of a project, pursuit here, you really need to go in and pay attention to the details. The details right now are going to be so important. And just step out, know and trust that what it is that you're being called to do during this time is important. There is meaning. There is there's a really big purpose, I think, coming into the Gemini collective here. You may be called to make some sacrifices here, is what resonates here strongly with this card. And for some reason, to go along with that message of cutting corners, specific message for specific individuals is make sure that you avoid copying others. So those who maybe inspire you or you look up to in some way. So an example of that might be plagiarism, for example, right? That would be a way to cut corners. So that's kind of an example, but the actual message itself, avoid copying someone who inspires you in the form of their work. Make sure that you're following through with integrity. Big message there for some of you. All right, next card we have is the Ace of Pentacles. This again is about you being able to step up and act selfishly, that shouldn't be so difficult to say. Being selfless. There we go. So this is where you are going to want to decide upon some goals and desires. You're going to want to make a pros and cons list here. So you're really forming a new beginning for yourself, and it's just all about starting a new chapter in your life. So whatever seeds you're planting in the moment is what will grow and you'll harvest over the months to come. So this is really an opportunity here for you to take a moment, step back, and really put some thought into your personal desires and goals that you see for yourself, especially in the last half of 2020. So, like I said, if need be, make a pros and cons list. That can be incredibly helpful, especially if you're feeling called, let's see if I can say it, to have some form of a selfless action. There, I said it. Okay. All right, and the last card in your read is the Page of Cups. And then we'll definitely get a gratitude card here. All right, so this is going to be all about beautiful playfulness here. This is going to be about, just a really fun energy of being open-hearted, kind of like innocence of a child here, but a lot of cheerful optimism. So your energies are going to really shift here. And a big message I just heard: the healing power of laughter. That is a really big symbolism here for the page. I love that so much. So it is going to be about take the time out if need be. If you're in a mood, watch a comedy. Make sure you're spending time with those that can really crack a joke and just make you forget your worries for a few moments. Sometimes we go through periods where everything is so serious, and we really truly do forget just to have that playful, childlike innocence. And there may be a healing power of laughter in a relationship that needs to be mended in some way. So maybe at this point you're laughing about past mistakes. You're at a point where you've put it behind you, and during the moment you couldn't necessarily laugh at yourself, but going forward in the future, you're at a point maybe now where you can look back and tell that story and really laugh at yourself. But also page here also indicating, again, new life phase coming for you. A new life phase, guys. For some, it's very strongly implying, and this is not for everybody, you're going to know if it's for you, it's very, very strongly implying a very heightened psychic phase. So a lot of you really going quite deep with spirituality here. Love it so much. All right, let's get your gratitude message. Try to be a little bit more graceful than that. All right, here we go. I'm quite intrigued with this read overall. I hope you are too. You do have free will and complete control over your destiny and going forward and what your future will hold for you, right? All right, gratitude card says, I am grateful for the blessings to forgive and accept the healing process. So for those of you who are called to this message, it really does go to show that you can really find those little things to be grateful for. And gratitude is really going to be about shifting our mindset, shifting our vibrational energies at any point in time where we kind of need that pick me up or to be lifted in some way. All right. Sounds like kiddos are getting ready for bath time, and at the end of the day, now that they play outside for a big part of the day, they are just filthy and also exhausted, so they don't really want to get clean, but it sounds like it's getting close to that time of the day. All right. Ooh, wow. You have a slow down. This is your inspirational message, guys. It says, when it feels like our world is spinning out of control, it's easy to get overwhelmed. This is a good time to begin a daily meditation practice. Your mind is the most open and receptive in the morning, which is why it's helpful to start your day with centering exercises. Cultivate stillness within and know that there is no rush. At the end of our days, we won't care about our to-do lists. We'll wish we have loved more, lived more, and been at peace. Don't wait. Slow down now. So I'm really feeling that this message is here to inform you. Now is the time to rest. You really do need to get prepared for what's coming ahead. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank each and every single one of you who make up this wonderful community. I love reading all of your comments, really, truly, deeply, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to each and every single one of you. And guys, don't forget to check on the community page. That's where a lot of my information I think is going to start to appear. So check that out for the winner of the free personal reading. All right, guys, make sure you're filling your own cup during these times. That will allow us to come together as a whole, as a community, where eventually we can reach out and help others during their time of need as well. All right, guys, that's it for me. Take care.